go one more time. Stanley Parable. Let me see if we can get all the endings. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out. We can get all the endings today. So it is. I don't know what this has to do with. Before we get started, guys, thank you for actually saying both times you've booted up the game. What? A lot of people don't take that step seriously. You just leave the clock set at 12, call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the time correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see this screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back. That's so fucking cool, man. We. That's so cool. That little attention to detail, man. That's fucking funny. I love that. I'm definitely putting the blanket on. It's always nice and chilly in the morning. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Now, I want to start off by going what I believe the assumed.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Or at least
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
follow the narration as closely as possible. for the first run, and then start to new content. I don't remember that door. Okay, no, we're gonna... Dude. Oh, dude. That's so tempting. I wonder if that's gonna be there. Still, it has to still be once we do this, right? Alright, come on. We'll find out. I'm sure it'll be there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right. Okay. Alright, we're gonna try to like...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Let's see.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh, God, great. This is great. Alright. Let's see if we can...
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
If not every ending, the guy investigate as many of the potential endings as possible. Now, I'm just gonna follow the narrated route for the first game, and then I'm gonna start detouring, seeing how many endings we can get. Now, I'm essentially gonna attempt to speedrun this, but
descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Just... if my little wandering brain doesn't get the best of me, is what
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Alright, so, I mean, obviously, this is, we finally taken on the narrated route, so, we gotta,
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I mean,
no, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
When you sit up and take command.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Mind control, idle, awaiting input. Alright, so I'm assuming the most narrative followed simple, you're always going to turn that off, right? Because, like you said, he's not supposed to be taking control of me anymore. So, we'll just start with that. Now, with that
Blackness
being said, obviously, this
and a
was
rising chill of
really
uncertainty.
short, but
Was it
there's
over?
so many endings. I can only assume.
Yes!
Now, I wonder.
He had
hopefully
won.
get
He
an
had
achievement.
defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles.
Oh, you know what I should have done, actually, which I'm probably already too late for. I really hate to admit that I forgot to do this. I need to turn the music off. Forget. Oh. Yeah. No! I'm so screwed. Alright, because I already got copyrighted for that once. Just rather not.
Still lay
I'm probably
unsolved.
screwed already.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
Yes.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
The door ain't open.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Yes.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
But Vontae is not. Because we got plenty of endings to go through. As long as we can actually not wander off too far. Now, I think because did that ending. Now, of course, if you go straight to the left or go through everything, it seems as the most straight and narrow path. There's a couple of things that we did in the last one that I think, obviously, I'm not going to repeat because they are just kind of, I wouldn't say buying time, wasting time more than anything. I think the next route I might take now would just probably go right side, fuck up the story, right, like we did the very first time that we played. Check the ending for that, or I could go left again and then go to escape hall. What happened when you went there? I can't even think of it. Okay, but moral of the story is, regardless, we are attempting to speedrun as many endings as we can get.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now, there's this new content thing, which I could probably just do. I would love to see that. But I think I'm going to save that.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
see if we could just take it off a little bit.
Yet there was not a
See
single
how...
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Now, I
Stanley
feel like...
decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
Not at all.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Good point.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Well, then.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Purgatory is so...
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
You can, like, loop this.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
I think I did.
And everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose,
Oh, I
got dressed,
remember this.
gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Yep.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
She at least still called the ambulance, right? At least. At least. Like. Okay, so now, what is it? Go all the way down, and then,
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so then, so I think.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
And then, this may be the third option of this side.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
2845, 2845. Opens up. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Facts. Factual indeed, my boy. I want to go that way, but last time I went.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Didn't even have to go to. Alright. Sure. Just like, yeah. We're not doing this. There's one thing I love about games like this. Like, the people who take the time out to make this to understand the complexity of just,
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, I didn't.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yes. That's the plan. Alright, let's see. So I think this has to be the third option on the left door. I wonder if there are any other options, because obviously... I think... Wait.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, it reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Yep. Come on, then.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
Nah.
In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
This is the fall through, right? Yeah, okay. I remember this. Okay, I've done this once before. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Come on, then. Oh, right. Okay, it sends me to this. I wish there was a sprint. I wish. I wish.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance,
Okay,
death
so
becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
yeah. We just found that out in the last way around. Purgatory, like I've explained several times. Okay, so we've seen all this. This is really cool though. I do like this. Now I wonder if this does tell you. Well, obviously it gives you an idea that obviously there are several ways to do this. But does it explain some of the extra rules? Oh, right, okay, yeah. There's different sounds that I use. How do we... Maintenance room. Have we found the maintenance room yet? Oh, it's just an early version of the maintenance room. Okay. I'm sure I've probably walked through the maintenance room then, but... Warzone. I didn't see this last time, so I'm curious what this. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up in a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Fair enough. And I think, for what it's worth, I mean, up to everything that I've done, I'd say they did a good job in not implementing that. But after the second trailer, we sent our initially found these promotional materials. We never found a pretty section says email. First game ever. How is the game going? Better than the first one for cool man. Okay. Are you alright? Alright, I'm done with this. Okay. I don't remember how the fuck we get out of here anyway. But what's that? The apartment timer? In the previous version, the choices leading to the apartment and the timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Oh. Okay. Cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping into different paths. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player to fall into their death. The second version is functional, the same as what it is the final game, but we wanted to look more like the place where the cargo was actually stored. Okay. Yes, see, okay. So this, wait, so option 1, doorway to maintenance and lounge. Option 2, doorways to maintenance. So, oh, wait, the other entrance would be hidden depending on how you enter. 10 can, Oh, it's the confusion ending. Okay. To what ending? What was that say? Okay, so you can go through the first choice and then go into the maintenance room. So, okay, wait, third option. Uh, one doorway to maintenance in the lounge. The original back on track option. Okay, so so if you disobey, you can still get back on track by going through maintenance. That's third option. Which I think, and I think we've seen that third option. Vent, what about this? Vent? I don't think I've been through the vent. Hmm. Maintenance layout. The flow of the hallways following the first two doors was important to get right since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Huh. So, just off the bat, they're obviously for okay. So, we've done option one. I think we've done option two. Doorways to maintenance. But I don't think we've actually touched the maintenance room. Well, I could be wrong. So I think we touched the maintenance room the very first time around playing this. So that the fuck is it? What the hell? Is ending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending. No, this is ending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. The ending model, the ending many interactions. This room represents the fourth version of the end. And we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. The ending levers. The levers were originally part of this ending. The player will pull a lever and a narrator will describe what color they have pulled. Oh. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development. Each meant the company. Something about the Spirit game. This is one of the first released in May 2012. Now, this game is this old? I didn't know that. Hmm, interesting. I don't know watch the trailer. Oh, okay. I thought there was another out there for some reason. It was just bad lighting. The game is now paused. Give me the game. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending only ended when the player restarted from the escape room. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Oh. Oh. Hmm. Interesting. So, now obviously, there are all of these things that teach you about the development of the game, but if that was the intention, I wonder if there's still any fair intention behind that? Because obviously, I mean, it makes sense. And it's basically the end of fucking purgatory, so it's like, I guess if you do escape this way, it's like saying you finally accepted the fact that you're dead? No? Alright, now how the fuck do I get out of here again? That's all I care about at this point. It's time to go. Wait. There was a way to get out of here. There. Oh, it's just different office layouts. Oh, that's cool. Alright, I can't remember. I cannot remember. Oh, the green exit sign. Okay.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Yep, that's...
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Who's they?
No. perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
But who's they?
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Yeah, unfortunately, we're letting time choose, sweetheart. Would have loved to just turn it off. Now, I wonder, because of the way this began, and the little prompt that I got at the beginning, if I was to listen there and do that, how that would go, because I wonder if it's saved. How do you see? Oh, you're closing the game, essentially, as she acts, turning off the PlayStation.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna try the new content way this time, and then see where that takes us. And then we'll come back. It would do the detour, the right door. I want to see about this maintenance and like vent thing, because I think I've been through the maintenance room now. I don't remember going through a vent at any point in time.
New content? What does that mean, new content?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Oh. Okay. Let's get it. I'll find out. Let's see some new content. Why does this feel like the maintenance room?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
I did not know that.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Bro, some developers
Please,
are
step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Man, I really...
Okay, so far it's an...
I really admire this.
Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
I toured around before. Oh, excuse me, now, I gotta say, I don't remember...
Is it broken? What's going on
that
here?
door the first time around. I think you had to beat the game.
Should we be moving somewhere? Or, oh, here we go. All right, finally,
good,
at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's what
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh, God. The jump circle?
All right, let's see. It's...
You can
the jump circle?
There's not an option to jump. Huh? What do you mean the jump circle? Excuse me? Oh, okay. You jump 36 times? Oh, what the fuck is it? Okay. Interesting. What? There's no fucking way. There's no way that's literally it. Oh my fucking...
Is that it? Surely
No.
that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Okay. Well, what the fuck is...
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Yeah. That's... Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh,
Bro,
you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Oh my God.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
There's no way that
No
would
frills,
actually...
no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Yeah, I don't have a choice, but what... There's no way... Bro, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. They really... These devs just love breaking the fourth wall, apparently. So that's cool. But there's no way... Huh? This ain't... This ain't reset. What? Where the fuck am I? Huh? I am confusion.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Oh, no. Okay, so is this the vent, right? Okay, wait. Shit. Okay. Well, follow the narrator closely. Well, I feel like that's another path itself as well, so maybe I have to do the new content thing. Again, that's just a fucking reset drop. I swear it better not be a fucking reset drop. I think it's gonna send me... Okay, because I was just looking at this now. We got the whole vent thing. It was just gonna send me into the maintenance room. And then I'll be proceeding from there.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
What the fuck?
Take a look.
No. What? Okay.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
What the fuck?
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
What the fuck? Audience award. What is this? Collective Okay. What the fuck? I really love how they did this. What the fuck? Oh, nice. Stanley Parable demonstration. Don't play for 5 years. Unachievable is impossible to get this achievement. Oh, that's super cool. That's gonna pique my interest. Nominee for British Academy Award. British television. Oh wait. Reading. Television. Oh, it's okay. So they just put that up 3 times. Alright. New video game releasing today. Okay, surprisingly down to earth. College children, free to poor. Alright, whatever. Los Angeles Times, Stanley Parable deals choices. Oh, wonderful picture of me dead. That's cool. Oh. Okay, another memory of little Stanley. Oh, Stanley a fucking guinea pig? What is that? That's a big fucking rodent. Of some sort. Is that Stanley? That's who I'm based after. This little bench? Okay. It seems like some kind of ritualistic shit here. DV Interaction Award. Big issue from Best Packs. Design Museum, Designer of the Year. Idea of 2013. New Award?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Cool. Oh. So, memories on maintenance? Oh. No. Huh? It was good. Okay. What the fuck, dude? Oh, what? Yeah. I figured it was okay.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
He is not a fan. At all.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh, no.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh, why? You gotta love the time that's put into just these forms of narration. It's just breaking the fourth wall.
Okay, let's see what this one says.
What the fuck?
While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh, dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Well.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Am I supposed to jump to that? Or... Huh? How do you... Oh, okay, you just walk on water. That's cool. Wow. Literally just...
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue. And it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is.
Okay.
How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say...
the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices.
Okay. I don't think...
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've got me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto, 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 treatise, manifesto.
So I'm assuming
treatise, manifesto,
they expect you to
manifesto.
I'm just so curious if the narrator is actually gonna
treatise, manifesto,
get tired of himself.
Treatise, manifesto.
That is the latter for me.
Manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise,
oh my
manifesto.
Fucking God, dude.
Treatise,
what the
manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
I don't think a word
treatise,
is meant to win unless you hit the skip button.
Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
Okay, alright.
Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere?
Well,
a porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
This is reinforcing simple human nature, though. You're told not to do something, you want to do it even more. Now, I do want to know how this all goes, and I feel like he's going to have me here for a while, and to entice me to skip. I'm curious of all the options, though. I mean, obviously, the first few prompts clearly meant to be skipped, to a degree. Right. Now, could probably skip them sooner, maybe, because of course it builds to get us to this point. I wonder, dude. This is, he asked me not to do it like 3 or 4 times and then leaves me here in absolute silence. This is bad. This is reinforcing the idea of skipping. But I'm very curious to know if he's gonna bring that door back. I mean, I was just so focused on listening to his fucking rambling and hitting the skip button, and the idea that, of course, this game breaks the fourth wall the way that it does, right? That we're just gonna be in a position where no matter what, I mean, obviously, right? Because I mean, I make the choices to a degree, but I guess stuck here, I wouldn't even, I don't know if I suggest stuck. Obviously, there's something that comes out on the latter end of this, but with, oh my god, he's reinforcing for sure. Like, oh my god, I know this is gonna be bad. He's gonna be so pissed at this skip button. I want to know if anything actually happens though. I am really curious to. Maybe you place the door on this side this time? No? Okay. I don't want to press it, but I do at the same time. Oh man, I feel like this is. It's like what he was doing with the words. It's like he's doing it without the words now. Now he asked me several times not to skip. I hopes that he'd be back with a door. But I'm really. I don't know, dude. Is patience key here? Is he ever gonna come back with that door? I mean, what do we make of this? Don't press the skip button. Don't press skip, and then leave me here like this. Why? Bring the door. I feel like patience could gain an achievement, but again, I could be wrong as well. The ticking of that clock. Now, that doesn't give you an idea of how long this might take. Or is it saying 2 to 5? No. It can't be. Oh. Please do excuse me. Ah, God. Okay. Alright. The silence is so loud.
Stanley!
I'm sorry.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
I remember
I've looked
that.
at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything
that's
else,
my
I don't
whole
know how to
point.
stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone. That I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Oh.
You're back. Oh, my
Oh.
goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
Yep.
Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
I tried that already. Why does he consistently do this to me? I need to understand the plot of this room. Will my patience get me out of this room, or will my lack of impatience keep me here for too long? That'll force another ending. That'll leave the narrator unsatisfied? I don't even know. Obviously, as he's expressed, apparently it's been 2 weeks since the last push. There's a shadow casted on that side of the wall. There's still no door around, no window, no nothing. Right, I've already checked behind this wall. No, I want to give the narrator his grace. I really do. I feel like it's just bait. It's just rage baiting. You know that the player doesn't want to just stand there and do nothing. Now, my curiosity is obviously built behind his words, but I want to push the skip button so bad. He's gonna be so pissed. Well, he said a moment. I mean, I've waited some time. Damn, can I even trust the narrator anymore? That's a fair question. That is a fair... Can I even trust the narrator? Oh, come on, dude. He's not coming back. He's not coming back. Okay. Fuck. Alright. Progression is key.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
I want to believe. Nah. I was trying to think that out, but I don't. He didn't really give any insinuation that I should. Still no door. Okay, she's gonna speak to us. No. Okay. Oh god. What the fuck? What? What is that? Oh, it must be the skip. Oh, we are Alaska.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves that they couldn't help but leave a negative review on pressurized gas. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amused. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. Okay. It was meant to speak to the human.
What the fuck? What the fuck, man? Okay, I genuinely, I didn't expect that doing the new content part was gonna just leave me in a room like this. I was hoping to get through most, if not all, of the endings. Like, what the...
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end is.
Bro is losing it. Oh my goodness. I'm so confused. Oh. How do you oh. Okay, we're just becoming dystopian now. Just skip until the building completely falls apart? What the fuck, man? Bro, this is so weird. What? the fourth wall breaking in this is just wrecking my brain. What in the actual fuck? I could have sworn I turned all music down. So if I get copyrighted, which I think I'm probably already going to get copyrighted again. So how the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, so one of these times, I gotta check my back every time. One of these times the door has to open, right? Or the door has to be placed. At least one of these times, hopefully. I can only assume. But just as it goes up, we just get more and more dystopic. Oh. Wait. Okay, so we can't press the skip button again. Alright. We finally make it up. Oh my god, that is bright. What the fuck, man? What is going on right now? What the fuck is this? Yo, bro, I'm so confused. So that was okay. So, all right. So it kind of makes a little more sense now. So I guess the new content was basically the devs kind of like giving their take on how people seen the game and what the game meant to them. Which again, I love this fourth wall breaking. It's absolutely insane. What the
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So now it's time to get off path. New content. Nah, hold on. See, no, they're about to send me down another rabbit hole. See, why would they put up neon lighting? Dude. No, I feel like, okay, no, bro. It's very enticing, but I don't want to go through that again. I love the idea of the devs just breaking the fourth wall and giving their...
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes,
Yeah.
I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay. Sure. Oh, that's an alarm. Don't need it. Okay. Alright. So is he gonna go on another tangent or... Oh. So, clearly we're not getting through all the endings here. Okay. Well, let's see. I mean, all we can do is fuck around and
You
find
see,
out.
Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable, and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
What? Investors.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel, an entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
I guess he's kind of got a point. Oh. Wow.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
What the fuck? Bro. This is not what I was expecting at all.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Yeah, tell me about it. What the f...
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Oh my... No, no. Excuse me. I'm so confused. Reassurance buckets? What the fuck is that? Okay, wait. Office decorations, Stanley preparation. The button that says name of the player that's playing. What the fuck, bro? Infinite hole? Office decoration?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Oh, get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Okay, that's fucked up. I made a genuine choice and you just fucked me. Okay. What?
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Okay. Okay. Collectibles. Okay. Free new easy trophy. It can't be that infinite hole. I kind of want to see what the infinite hole is about. Apparently that's a trophy. It's just... check out these collectibles. For... Oh. What the f...
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up, You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
What the fuck is going on right now? One of 6? Wait, so the... Oh, no way. Bro. Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
That indeed it is. Okay, so I want to see the infinite hole, I guess. I just take the free trophy. Excuse me. But bro, I'm so confused. Okay.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Interest. What the Okay, I guess down the hole we go. What?
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Okay. So it literally is just an infinity
Now, I don't
hole.
mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go
Yeah.
back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Gosh, what the fuck is this? Man, bro, this is actually insane. I'm so compelled by how well these developers want to break the fourth wall. The holy moly. Wow. Okay, bro. So should we take our free trophy? You know, we'll take our free trophy now. I don't fucking... This is wicked business. I'm not gonna lie. Put a lever, receive a new trophy, and rest of it works.
Now,
Okay.
here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Okay, well that's gay. I thought I was gonna get... Alright, whatever. That would've been nice. What the fuck?
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Yes, the old jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Well, what? So was I not supposed to... Huh? What? Exit, jump circle. Okay, let's see. I feel like... Okay. Well, jump circle. I did the infinite hole. We did the collectible. Free trophy is not even a free trophy. Alright, what do we got? Setting world champion. Okay. So we'll go up. That's new. Oh yeah, the name button thing too. Okay. What in the actual fuck? Oh. Man. Settings world champion. Why can't I be a settings world champion? Okay, let's... Okay, so this just takes me into...
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay, I see. That's literally...
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Let's see if it calls me a nigger or not.
Jim. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Okay.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button. Jim. Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you!
Okay.
The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Yo,
Jim!
really tweaking.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Jim. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are. Jim.
Oh my god, what the fuck, man? I'm just confused more than anything. So this went from...
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
What the fuck? Okay, well, I guess it's time for the exit. I think we've done everything. Oh, we didn't do the reassurance bucket. Oh, wait, and there was one other thing I think we didn't do. Office decoration. Okay, so yeah, the reassurance bucket we didn't do. Oh my god. This shirt is the best new feature. Okay.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't think I was actually gonna be able to. What the fuck?
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must
Bro.
already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Is that
I
right?
think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, okay. We're just gonna carry this bucket now. What the fuck is this?
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Okay, I think we've done everything. Let's take it to map. Okay. Jump circle, free trophy. Button that says name merge. Okay. Single champion. Insurance booking, office decorations, epilogue. Well, okay, so yeah, I mean we've done everything.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. There's no way to drop this bucket.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
So you get to test this sequel in the original
Are you ready?
game?
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
No, that's fucking retarded.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
What the fuck is going on? I just got to school. What's good then? Hopefully you had some good breakfast. Oh my god, this is no, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way there's a game in a game. What the fuck? I shouldn't have started that. I have to piss. I'm so intrigued though. Like, this is... What? Cause see, okay, I didn't expect this. Like, so I was gonna try to do...
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push,
Okay, I don't think
how
this
long to
cutscene's
push
gonna be
them,
different.
and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every
So,
day of every
I think the
month of
environment
every
is just gonna be
year.
different.
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley
I'm gonna go-
relished every moment that the orders came
I'm gonna
in,
go to the bathroom.
as though he
This
had been
is
made
so-
exactly
what
for
the
this
fuck?
job. And Stanley was happy.
I'm so...
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. The fucking balloons.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The buckets. Should we carry the... We're gonna carry
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Okay, so yeah, obviously that wasn't there initially.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh my god, what is this?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find out. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of
That's
jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet.
Right.
That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies.
Can I...
Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket.
Okay.
I know how hard it must be, given
Yeah.
the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This
the
is your
fuck
bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
I'm so confused, man.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet. with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
What the fuck is this game?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Stanley in the bucket. Bro, what the fuck?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes, indeed. It's our undying friendship. Oh, nice.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
Exactly.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Very hungry that your message. What did I say? I must be retarded. That's nice. Love that for you. Love land. What is it? I personally, I'd have a couple different things. One is like this vanilla something from Bath and Body Works. I usually use native, but the Bath and Body Works stuff was a gift. This smells pretty good.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Typically I like eucalyptus something.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Or like the one that I have now. I think it's like...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Bro, the intense amount of added dialogue. I wonder how long it took them to record.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
The normal way around.
The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It's so chilly. I wish. I'm not gonna say what I wish, but I wish.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
I don't think I've Moscow Rose.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Just a man in his bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Bro, Well, these developers, man, mm, the time it takes.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness.
Stanley in the bucket.
Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door.
Oh.
The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to...
Oh.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty.
Wait.
Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face.
Excuse
This
me.
building did not want the bucket to leave.
What?
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What the fuck? Why? Wait. Okay. So first and foremost, I really... Oh, man. It's my own fault for trying out the new content. I did not expect that we'd get on such a fucking tangent. The whole idea was to finish the game with each fucking option, I guess, of like the original path and the original deterrent path. And I guess after you beat the game, you load it up the second time, then all of a sudden it gives you the option to do the Ultra Deluxe content. Now, of course, we've been here on our wonderful 2-hour journey just to realize that there are more endings than I was looking for. Because once again, I let my wandering mind get the best of me. But you know what? For what it's worth, man, this is really fucking fun. We have to play a third time. I mean, I can't. There's so much more to this than I expected. I don't even know. Like, my face hurts from just listening to this fucking narrator just spout on about absolutely nothing. Jeez. Okay, I didn't know that this was gonna come this far. I'm really enjoying this way too much. It's such a simple game, but it just breaks the fourth wall ever so often. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, I guess with all of that being said, man, thank you, Danny, and everyone who joined today. To anyone who's still in here, appreciate your time, and hopefully you enjoy what it is that you see, and if so, be sure to leave a like on the stream, man. It helps boost us in the algorithm. If you liked it any more than that, share it with someone as like-minded as yourself. You can put up with an amateur YouTuber and his bullshit content. If you happen to love it to any degree, go ahead and subscribe and put on those post notifications because we stream every day and we attempt to stream twice a day. Now, of course, with all of that being said, I want you guys to remember to do good things for yourself. Self-preservation is key. Love you, mother. You know what? tell Daddy's great too. You know? If it wasn't for them men, there'd be no you. Alright? And I want you to love your mother because if you don't, I will. Unless she's in a lovingly happy relationship. Okay. Not a homewrecker. Drink water. Alright. And, don't let 2025 be 2024 part 2 for you, man. Hopefully, everything's on the old up and up. If it was a great 2024, man, continue to do well in 2025. But until the next one, all of you stay sexy. Greatly appreciated. And,